There is a pain more dangerous than the deepest cut. It does not spill blood. It does not show on the skin. No one will see you limping or reach for a bandage. Yet it can drain your strength, weaken your spirit, and chain your heart to yesterday. It is called regret, the wound that doesn't bleed. You can run to the farthest corner of the earth, hide in the noise of Babylon, or drown yourself in busyness. But regret will still follow. It knows your footsteps. It lives in the quiet places of your soul, whispering the same haunting words. If only. The unseen wound. Regret is a strange kind of pain. You cannot point to where it hurts, yet it shapes the way you breathe, the way you walk, the way you see the world. The world recognizes the man with a broken arm, the woman with tears on her cheeks, but the soul carrying regret often smiles while bleeding on the inside. This wound does not bleed, but it steals life drop by drop. It comes from the missed moment you cannot take back, from the silence you kept when truth was burning in your chest, from the choice you made without wisdom, only to realize later that it led you into darkness. Regret is the shadow of what could have been, a shadow that follows you, even under the brightest sun. The most dangerous thing about this wound is that it hides. No one may see it, not even those closest to you. And because it hides, it can grow quietly, spreading through your spirit like roots under the ground. It shapes your prayers if you still pray. It shapes your trust if you still trust. And if you allow it, it will shape your destiny. Some try to outrun it, by chasing pleasure, by drowning in work, by surrounding themselves with noise. But regret is a patient hunter. It waits in the stillness. It waits when you close your eyes at night. It does not age. It does not tire. You may forget for a while, but it remembers. This is why many walk with heavy hearts though they seem light on their feet. Why some laugh loudly but never feel joy. Why some succeed in the eyes of the world but still feel like failures in their own spirit. The wound without blood can be more dangerous than the wound with blood, because the one that bleeds will get treated, but the one that hides will be ignored until it consumes. Yet, my brethren, this truth is not here to break you. It is here to wake you. For before a wound can be healed, it must be seen. And before regret can be released, it must be faced. Regret is not just a memory, it is a chain forged in the fires of what if, cooled in the waters of too late, and locked with the key of never again. You may not see the metal, but you can feel its weight around your soul. It tugs at you every time you try to move forward, whispering, "You don't deserve it." This is the trap of the past. It is unchangeable, yet it still reaches into the present to shape your steps. You can't rewrite what has already been written, but you can spend a lifetime staring at the ink until you forget to write the next chapter. That's what regret wants, to keep you frozen in yesterday, reliving the same mistakes in your mind, over and over. It comes in many forms. For some, it's the broken relationship they never mended. For others, it's the opportunity they saw but didn't take. For many, it's the moments they betrayed their own values, when they knew the right path but chose the wrong one because fear or pride was stronger than wisdom. And here is the cruelest thing about regret. It often grows larger than the mistake itself. One wrong decision may have lasted a day, but the regret can last a lifetime if you let it. The enemy of your soul knows this, and he uses it like a weapon. Babylon uses it too, convincing you that you are your failures, that your past defines you forever, that you have no right to rise again. But hear me, regret has no power except the power you give it. A chain is only a chain if you hold it. If you drop it, it becomes nothing but a piece of metal on the ground. Yet most people don't drop it. They polish it. They carry it. They make it part of their identity. They wear it as proof that they can't change. But you, brethren and sistren, you were not created to live chained to yesterday. The Most High did not breathe life into you so you could serve a sentence in the prison of your own mind. If you keep looking back, you will never see the open doors ahead. If you keep holding the chain, you will never feel the freedom of Jah's hand leading you forward. Regret may tie you to the past, but Jah came to break chains. God's perspective on regret. From the human eye, regret looks like failure carved in stone, unchangeable, unforgivable, forever a mark on your soul. But from the eyes of the Most High, it is different. Jah sees not only the wrong turn you took, but also the road it can lead you to if you let him guide you. He knows every misstep, every silence, every moment you chose fear over faith, and yet, he is not surprised. Before you even took your first breath, Jah knew the mistakes you would make. He also knew the lessons you could learn from them. In his divine wisdom, even the detours can become part of the journey to Zion. That is why in Scripture we see shepherds become kings, fishermen become apostles, persecutors become preachers. Jah specializes in turning what Babylon calls shame into a testimony of his grace. But here is the key. He cannot turn your regret into wisdom if you keep running from it. You must bring it to him, raw and unhidden. Confess it in the quiet of your heart. Speak it in your prayers. Lay it at his feet. For the wound that does not bleed will not heal until it is touched by the healer. Regret is dangerous when it convinces you that you are too dirty for Jah's light. But that is a lie from the pit. The truth is, the places where you fell can become the very ground where you rise stronger. The pain that once held you down can become the proof that Jah's mercy is real. This is why the Rasta Livity teaches that life is a journey of consciousness, not perfection. The path is not straight. It winds, it climbs, it dips, but every step is part of your redemption when you walk with Jah. Even your regret can become a stepping stone if you surrender it to him. So stop seeing regret as the end of the story. See it as a turning point, a place where Jah says, "Now, let us walk this way." For when you allow him to take your pain, he not only heals the wound, he turns it into power. And the one who has been forgiven much will love much, serve much, and shine much in Zion. Now you may ask yourself, how do I heal from regret? The healing process. Healing regret is not about pretending it never happened. It is not about forcing yourself to move on while the wound still festers inside. True healing is a spiritual act. It happens when the wound that doesn't bleed is brought into the light of Jah's presence. The first step is acknowledgement. You cannot heal what you refuse to see. Speak it out, even if only in prayer. Say, "Yes, Jah, I did this. I missed that moment. I failed in that place." There is power in calling a thing by its name. Babylon teaches us to bury our shame under pride, but Zion teaches us to expose it to the light so it can be cleansed. The second step is surrender. This is where most stumble, because surrender means you stop trying to fix it on your own. You hand it to Jah completely. You say, "I cannot undo it, but you can redeem it." This is the moment the chain begins to loosen. The third step is learning. Regret can be a cruel master, but in Jah's hands it becomes a wise teacher. Ask him, "What do you want me to see in this? What truth is hidden in this pain?" You will find that the very thing you once wished away can carry the lesson that shapes your future in righteousness. The fourth step is action. Healing is not just inward, it's lived. If you wronged someone, seek peace if the door is still open. If you missed an opportunity, be ready for the next one. If you failed to speak truth before, speak it now. These acts do not erase the past, but they plant seeds for a different future. And finally, the fifth step is acceptance. Not acceptance that the mistake was good, but acceptance that it happened and that it no longer has the power to control you. This is the stage where the wound stops throbbing. The scar remains, but it becomes a reminder of how far you have come. My brethren and sistren, understand this. Jah does not expect perfection, but he does expect growth. And the moment you place your regret in his hands, you allow him to turn your lowest points into pillars of strength. The wound that does not bleed can heal, but only if you allow the great physician to touch it. Rise and walk in Zion. Regret is a shadow, but it is not your master. It may have followed you for years, whispered in your ear at night, sat heavy on your shoulders when you tried to stand tall. But today, you can tell it to step aside. For you are not the same person who made those choices. You are wiser now, stronger now, closer to Jah now. The chains of yesterday do not have the right to bind the child of the Most High. When Jah calls you forward, even the past must bow. You are not defined by what you have done. You are defined by the one who is guiding you. The pen is still in your hand, and the story is still being written. Yes, you cannot outrun regret, but you can outgrow it. You can rise taller than the shadow it casts. You can choose today to walk in freedom, knowing the mistakes behind you have already been covered by grace. Do not let Babylon tell you that your failure is final. Do not let the enemy convince you that your value has been lost. The fact that you still have breath means Jah is not finished with you. He is still opening doors, still putting opportunities in your path, still speaking your name in love. So lift your head, step forward with purpose, Live in such a way that your future self will look back and say, I gave my all for Zion. Speak truth when you have the chance. Love deeply while the moment is here. Walk boldly in righteousness, for you know now what it costs to live in regret, and you have chosen freedom. For the one who has been through regret and overcome, their light shines brighter than the morning sun over the hills of Zion. And when you reach that day where you stand before Jah, you will not be carrying chains. You will be carrying testimony. Regret may be the wound that doesn't bleed, but Jah's mercy is the healing that never fails. When you face your past with courage and surrender it to the Most High, you step into a new life, a life of freedom, strength, and purpose in Zion. Remember, the chains of yesterday cannot hold the child of Jah forever. If this message touched your spirit, don't let it stop here. Share it with your brethren and sistren. Let the light of healing reach far and wide. Like this video if it inspired you, and subscribe now to stay connected with the Daily Zion Ways, your daily source of wisdom, strength, and spiritual power to walk through Babylon unshaken. Leave your thoughts and testimonies in the comments below. Your story matters, and together we rise stronger in Jah's love. Stay blessed, stay rooted, and keep walking in the way of Zion.